Hello Amazon, this is your professor here to talk to you guys today about JavaScript, the HTML DOM. So JavaScript is one of the most widely used programming languages in the world, and it's been called the language of the World Wide Web. JavaScript dominance of the web browser is due to DOM, the document object model. So what is DOM? First, we know that web pages are really just organized text that is organized by HTML tags to give it structure. And since we're dealing with structured text, we're able to pull that text into JavaScript as a JavaScript object. This is actually what DOM does. It loads your HTML into JavaScript and converting it to a JavaScript object that can be worked with. So here you're going to start off with your perfect diagram, perfect states. That's your here you're going to start with document. From document, you're going to go down to HTML, and notice that HTML inherits documents such as head will inherit HTML, title will inherit head, and then my title will inherit title, and then body. So notice that everything here is inheriting body. So this is kind of what the DOM, document object model, is. So it's kind of more of like a tree going down by nodes. So your HTML tag becomes the JavaScript object document. The body tags becomes document body. The entire web page is loaded into JavaScript as a tree of objects that can be changed by JavaScript. So JavaScript can change, remove it, add, or make any kind of edits to the page that have the changes re-displayed in the browser. So one important thing to understand is that JavaScript is not making these changes on the web server. It's making changes on your copy of the web page downloaded to your browser. Reloading the page can reset the page to all default settings. So let's explore some ways JavaScript can change a page, right? First thing we're going to call your previous HTML lesson is that every element has an ID attribute, and we'll get to choose that name of the ID when creating the element. So here you just have your PID paragraph, and here you have your script tag, and your paragraph you'll be calling it out. And here you wanted the color, you want to style it color red, and then here you'll get an execution of the program here that the program executed your text red. And today, I want to go less into lecture and just today I want to go ahead and start coding for you guys. So here we're going to start with the JavaScript code for what's going on. So if you guys go ahead and go straight forward to your lesson 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here you guys have 9.1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This lab right here is going to be practicing your JavaScript knowledge. And here, go ahead and download all these arrays, JavaScript array, JavaScript inputs, loops, objects, events, and then all the stuff that you guys been learning. And going over through documentations, reading through references. And first thing is first, you go ahead, make your JavaScript. First things first is go ahead and use strict. We're gonna use strict to use less of a error prone. It's a great tool to make your codes more adaptable. And then we're gonna need what we call a function, right? So we're gonna start off with a function. And then we're gonna change, we're gonna name it called change color in. Go ahead and put the parentheses, curly brackets, downward. We're gonna have what was called document dot get element by ID, right? So here, earlier we were going through documents by ID. So here we go ahead and use that. We're gonna name this one called 3a dot style. Go ahead and give it a background color of red, right? So under that function, we're gonna use another function, right? Here we're gonna give another function called change color out. Go ahead and put the parentheses, curly bracket, again document dot get element by ID. VS Code already comes with preloaded codes for you. And inside here, you're gonna ahead and do the same thing as again. Go ahead and put one quotation 3a, and then we're gonna need a style, and then we're gonna give it a background. You could give it a background of blue if you want, blue, or red or green, whatever you guys want. So I choose blue. Maybe yellow. How about red and yellow is pretty hard. So here I'm gonna give it what goes good with yellow, blue, right? And then so on top we could give a styling right here of yellow. So yellow will be our first document LID. So notice you could just change some of the stuff right here. Some of the, and I forgot to end it with the semicolon. So that means that that's the end of the code. All right. So there we're going to end it off. Give another function of change text, right? Curly brackets. And then we're going to have a document again. Call it out by getting the element ID. Inside here, we're going to have a 3B. Forget the quotation. Go ahead and give it 3B. And then also we're going to have an inner change of inner XML, right? And here we could just call this Amazon class change by interaction, right? So that's what's going on. So here it just says change by interaction. All right. So now we're gonna throw some objects out there, right? So first thing we still want to work with is another function. So I'm gonna do another function. Go ahead and since we were changing the text, this time we're gonna do is create an object, because that's what we need to do. We need to throw some objects. And curly bracket, open your curly brackets, and let's go ahead and declare value. Let's just say value1 is equal to document again dot get element. Go ahead and put one quotation object value. Let's go ahead and call this object value1, right? And then here we're gonna have a period dot value, and it's with a semicolon. Declare another value, value2. All right, document. All right, and then put get it the same way as we declare in the first variable, which is value1 to value2. Go ahead and have it called object value2. All right, dot value, and then end it with a semicolon. So that's the end of the code. And then we still have more to work with this function, because we're still working with the objects. So first off, let's go ahead and space this off. Give it another line of code. Now we're going to declare another object called JS object equals to value 1 and 2, right? So here we're going to call it value 1 and 2. And then go ahead and end it off with that. Let's go ahead and let's call it out with a document dot get element ID. In there we go ahead and call it let's go name it 4, right? Here, this is our fourth element. And here we're going to have an inner change of hypertext markup language. And then here we're going to use a JavaScript object notation. So here let's go ahead and use JSON stringify. Inside there we're going to have our object, right? So JS object. And go ahead and end it off with a semicolon. From there, go ahead and now that we're kind of dealing with more of a type of function, I'm gonna go ahead and speed this up to the markup language, the content. So here we still have to make an if statement, and after the if statement we got to make sure if it passes the condition or not, right? So for example, I'm gonna go ahead and make an if statement right here, but this is gonna be at the ending, not the ending part, but somewhat in the middle. So here you're gonna have your if pw, right? Well, we still have to make sure we call the function out. So before you make your if, you make sure you have your function towards your statement, and after your statement, you go ahead and make a conditional statement. If it meets that statement, then the program executes. Now we gotta be on our HTML stack. So we're done with the JS stack, right? So here we're gonna go ahead and call it, first things first, doc type, your first tag to tell that the document is the HTML tag, and then you're gonna have your HTML tag also. So here this is gonna be your information. Then you're gonna have your head tag. Inside your head tag, you go ahead and put all your meta. So if you want, you could put meta character set equal to UTF -8, or you could put a -10. I'm gonna put a -10 this time. Change it up. And then from your head, right, let's go ahead and give it a title if you guys want. So here, put a title, and then the title could be JavaScript, JavaScripting, and then from your content, we go down below. Let's go ahead. We could make a style sheet. We could make it use another tech stack. Go ahead and do that. So this is just going to be starting off with your stings, and then make sure you go ahead and make a tech stack with CSS, and make sure you style it. And after that, go ahead and put them all together, input the source, and there you will have what we call our program. Kind of get a little bit lazy, but that's fine. Don't worry about it. It's not that much of a CSS. This would be all the CSS that I would be styling with. If I wanted to, I'll go ahead and make another style sheet called CSS. And here, I'm already typing our lessons. Go ahead and put label, input, object values, things like that. And then go ahead and put your script source at the end. And inside our script source, there we had our last we left off was the function. Function check PW, so check password. So let PW equals 1, PW 2. If the condition statement meets, password match. If it does not, then we go ahead and get back into the statement that if it does not match, this would be outputted. And if it does match, then the password would match. All right. So after which, we go ahead and pull that up. So it's called so here we're just gonna call it dir. Go ahead and copy and paste this. What we could do is copy and paste, hit enter, open it, and there you go. So here you have your JavaScript lesson 9.5, 3A, 3B, starting text. You could change the text, change by JS. Object value 1, object value 2, create an object. So here just throwing the value off. So here object value 1, create an object. There you go. Enter a password match. If it does not match, the password does not match. Here the solid thing turns to red. And here store to browser. You can store anything to browser. So there you guys go. There you guys have it. So this is kind of more in depth of what's going on. All right, so hopefully you guys know what's going on. This is going to be your JavaScript tech stack, and a little bit more in depth of what we're dealing with. So make sure you guys stay focused, stay put, and keep focusing on this tech stack, because it's going to be a lot to learn. And that's it for me from your professor. And till then, we'll meet up again. All right.